This is a concise 30-second tutorial on how to remove the valve guide, valve spring, valve keepers, valve seat guide, and so on. This is the valve guide. This is the valve itself. These two orange parts that are rusted are the valve keepers. To remove it, you'll want to use a socket. I'm using this lug nut remover. You'll want to use a towel, such as a shop towel, to help prevent the two valve keepers inside from flying out. You'll also want to use an item such as a mallet, preferably rubber. You simply place the socket over the valve, the valve retainer, which is an upside down nut, this circular part, at which point you strike it with the mallet. You should have something like this when you strike the socket with the hammer, the rubber mallet. This may very well occur. The valve keeper, one of two, has popped out only slightly. There's a lot of tension. It could fly out at any moment. We'll lay back down the towel and strike it again. After a successful strike, you should be able to remove the socket and expose the towel, at which point you can clearly see both valve keepers. Do not lose these. They're about $4, maybe $5 at a parts store such as AutoZone or O'Reilly's. They shouldn't be rusted, but I did put degreaser and other such parts on it. One is inside the valve retainer, which is an upside down nut, and the other valve keeper is right here. It should be noted that it has an upside and a downside that you can't see well with the lighting. The indented side gets installed facing the atmosphere, the sky, as such by laying it inside. I will show reinstallation later. This is the valve spring. Again, it is not typically rusted. This is the valve. You may simply press it out. The valve seat guide is the small boot underneath it. You can pry it up using a screwdriver by very carefully placing it inside and wiggling back and forth. A safe method, these are the valve keepers. This is the valve retainer. This is the valve spring. This is the valve itself. To safely remove the valve, you may take the bottom end of the socket, place it on top, though I like to put a paper towel or a cloth just so I don't scratch the valve, and elevate the engine up, the cylinder block up, and it should pop out from the bottom. Sometimes they get stuck. Other times you get lucky, and you can just simply pull on it. To remove the valve seat guide, you can take a screwdriver, such as this, and apply lateral pressure and wiggle it around, and it should pop out. At which point, you can use your fingers, ta-da! You can use your fingers to fit inside the hole and remove the valve seat guide. This allows you to clean underneath. Ugh! It also allows you to clean the valve seat guide, which should not be oily and rusted up from degreaser and other such things. And that concludes our concise tutorial.